Nice and straight. Let me get this. Yeah. All right, y'all. What's up, man? Let's get this show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in episode 269. It's a lot of episodes, and your support is everything. So thank you again for each and every episode. We're on every Sunday and every Wednesday. So again, thank y'all for y'all support. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the chat. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13, so continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. It does help with the growth of the show. I drop videos daily, so please continue to engage. I've been seeing y'all engage your videos. The engagement is going up even more. So again, I appreciate it, and I do answer, especially if you got great commentary. Whether I agree or disagree, doesn't matter. Again, I love the engagement. So again, thank you for your support. Shout out to the chat. The chat is in here deep, and I appreciate y'all. Again, share the live. And again, I appreciate it. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. Shout out to a couple people in the chat. I'm not gonna say every single person, but again, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Alana in the building. Shout out to Butter in the building. Shout out to Breeze in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to King P in the building. One of our day ones, one of our big badge holders, man. I appreciate you as always. Has his badge for over 2 years. So again, I appreciate y'all support each and every episode. And remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. A stain is somebody that try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture. Hate has a location. It's just not here. So no further ado, let's get the show started. First segment of the night, popular opinions. You already know how this go. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label model is create, document, and inspire. Again, that's OUV Records on Instagram. So make sure y'all tap in and stay in tune. All right, y'all. First question of the night, popular opinions. And remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. And again, y'all, do not forget to hit them likes, hit them subscribes, hit that share button, hit that all notification bell. It does help with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. First one of the night. Favorite Will Smith movie on this list. Favorite Will Smith movie on this list. Number one, I Am Legend. Number two, Enemy of the State. Number three, Bad Boys 2. Number four, Men in Black. Again, favorite Will Smith movie on this list. Number one, I Am Legend. Number two, Enemy of the State. Number three, Bad Boys 2. Number four, Men in Black. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. All of these movies is popping. I just gotta say that. All of these movies is top tier. All of these movies is next level fire. And I can watch all of these movies over and over again, me personally. I Am Legend, I think Will was cooking in I Am Legend. I have to be honest. He's one out of maybe three people. No, he's throughout the whole movie. It's several people in the movie, but throughout the movie, it's just him. Later on, it comes the last two characters, and throughout the movie, he had his wife, his daughter, and of course the whole situation, him being a doctor, get into the whatever, right? Well, he was cooking in that movie. I will say that he was cooking for sure. Enemy of the State, good time. This is young Will Smith. He was popping, he was running, gunning, shooting, and it was basically a murder mystery of what was going on. They threw a little sex in it because he was dealing with somebody on top of that. So that movie is a good time always. I've seen all of these movies more than once. Uh, Men in Black, when it first came out, a good time, fire movie. But me personally, my favorite Will Smith movie on this list, and it's a co-star movie, so it's not just a Will Smith movie. It's Bad Boys 2 for me. You know, him and Martin Lawrence, but just him in particular, his performance in particular, Will Smith was cooking. He was cooking. So at the end of the day, I'm going with Will Smith. Excuse me, I'm going with Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 is such a good time. I think Bad Boys 2 is probably the best Bad Boys out of all of them, which it is. I say Bad Boys 2 is the better movie. Excuse me, the best one out of all of them. 3 was probably the best storyline. 4 was probably the best as far as storyline, action, but they had the worst villain out of all of them, in my personal opinion. The guy that ended up being the villain, the fourth one, he was kind of trash. Um, and the first one was so excellent because it's the first one. Martin was cooking. Martin was cooking in the second one just as much, in my opinion. But I gotta go with Bad Boys 2 on this list, even though I love all of these movies and respectfully. So shout out to the chat. And in the chat, I seen number 4. So y'all said Men in Black in the chat. And I also seen, I love the other Will Smith movie too. I Am Legend. So y'all also went with I Am Legend. I Am Legend is fire. How you feel about the Knicks being world champions? Shout out to Remy in the building. Appreciate you for tapping and hit the likes, hit the 100s. That helps with the growth of the show. How do I feel? I feel no different. Shout out to the New York Knicks. I don't feel any different. I'm not a Knicks fan, even though I am from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a Brooklyn fan, but I'm not a hater though. So shout out to the Knicks. They earned it. They was the better team. And some people disagree with me when I said that San Antonio outplayed them in every single game until the fourth quarter. Guess what? Fourth quarter matters. Fourth quarter is the money quarter. So it doesn't matter. If the other team wants it more and they come back and win, they the better team. So my hats goes off to the New York Knicks. They earned it. And I said this last year. I said if they didn't win it this year, they would never win it because the East, majority of the teams in the East, they was losing their number one guy or lost their number one guy due to injury. But they still went out there and earned it. So I give all props to the New York Knicks. Real talk. Um, yeah, so again, I went with Bad Boys 2 out of all of them as far as my favorite Will Smith movie on this list. In the chat, I saw I Am Legend, and also I went with Men in Black in the chat as well. Shelter, he said, well said. Nah, fact, bro, I'm not a hater. That's one thing you can say about me. I'm not a hater. I'm not one of them dudes that hate. It's like, yeah, nah. When Brooklyn, when we get ours, we get ours. But shout out to y'all because I was roasting y'all for a minute. I was roasting the Knicks for a minute because everybody I know, I know a lot of Knicks fans. So everybody be like, yo, what's up with your Nets? I'll be like, yo, we tanking right now. Just like how y'all was tanking. Y'all was tanking, and look where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? So now it's our turn to tank. Actually, every team that's great now, all of them was tanked before. San Antonio, the Thunder, Indiana, Knicks, uh, Boston, Milwaukee, all these teams was tanking, and now they got to see the other side of that. So we're going through our process. But again, I'm not a hater, and congratulations to the Knicks. So again, favorite Will Smith movie on this list. Again, I went with Bad Boys 2. In the chat, y'all went with Men in Black, and y'all also went I Am Legend. Mind y'all, over 31,000 people voted on this. 37% went with I Am Legend. I'm not mad at that choice. I'm not mad at that because Will Smith was cooking in that movie. He was a bit naive, but like it's funny when you watch movies, right? You're like, yo, why the hell did he do this? If he didn't do it, we wouldn't have no movie. You see what I'm saying? Like, so the scene where he rolled up to Fred and had Gat pointed at Fred, knowing Fred is a damn mannequin, but he's been alone for what 8, 9 years. Like anything is liable to happen. You know what I'm saying? And by the time he wake up, little, the whatever they were was starting to chase him, and then the dogs and all that. So without that, it would be no movie. So fire movie, but Bad Boys 2 out of everything on this list, definitely Bad Boys 2 for me. As far as his performance, he was cooking and killing in that movie. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Best R. Kelly hook on this list. Best R. Kelly hook on this list. Number one, P. Diddy, Satisfy You. Number two, Twista, So Sexy. Number three, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., Effing You Tonight. Y'all know what effing you means, right? Effing You Tonight. Number four, Cassidy Hotel. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, best R. Kelly hook on this list. Best R. Kelly hook on this list. Number one, Diddy, Satisfy You. Number two, Twista, So Sexy. Number three, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., F.A.U. Tonight. Number four, Cassidy, Hotel. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. All of these songs are super duper fire. All of them. These are all hit monsters right here. These are next level hits for those artists and R. Kelly because he was on those hooks and was a big part of those songs. And if you take R. Kelly off those songs, in my opinion, those songs will still be fire, but R. Kelly took those songs to the next level. Let's just be honest, right? But for me personally, this one is a tough one, but maybe it's the beat, and maybe it's the style and the flow. But me, I gotta go with Twister So Sexy. Me personally, I love Satisfy You because that beat is a legendary beat. That's a legendary sample. That Effing You Tonight, Biggie flow on that is just crazy. Cassidy Hotel, shout out to Cassidy. We did a song together. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go look it up. Ashley Lovechild featuring Cassidy. Go tap into that song. It is a fire song, so make sure y'all tap into. But that song in particular, Cassidy Hotel, with R. Kelly on the hook, it took it to a whole nother level. Like let's just keep it a bean. A whole nother level. So for me, that Twister So Sexy joint, Twister's flow style, and then of course R. Kelly coming in with, you know what I'm saying, with that thug type of style. I gotta go with Twister So Sexy, R. Kelly on the hook. I think this one is his best hook on this list. So I'm going with that. In the chat, I'm seeing a mix of answers. I'm seeing Cassidy Hotel in the chat, and I'm also seeing what's that? Biggie Smalls FAU Tonight. So in the chat, y'all going with Biggie Smalls FAU Tonight and Cassidy Hotel. I'm going with Twister So Sexy at 44%. Over 105,000 people voted on this. Went with Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, Effing You Tonight featuring R. Kelly as R. Kelly's best hook on this list. Again, music is preference based. In my opinion, there's no wrong answer here. No wrong answer. All of these hooks is fire. All of these songs took it to the next level by R. Kelly. So to me, there's no wrong answer regarding this. R. Kelly got hits for days. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. That's an absolute fact. R. Kelly got hits for days. He got hooks on other people's songs that obviously that's not on this list and didn't make this particular list. But yo, I want to see between him. To me, he's the king of the hooks. Period. Period. And then like right under that, you start talking about guys like damn. I see his face, but his name is not coming out right now. Oh my God. And he passed away a minute ago too. Ballhead Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg is like right under that. And then right under Nate Dogg, because Nate Dogg is to me number two after R. Kelly when it comes to just the hooks by itself. Then Nate Dogg. Then under Nate Dogg, them hooks. I'll say T-Pain. T-Pain got hard hooks. Future got hard hooks. Uh, Drake got some tough hooks. I will say that. 50 Cent got tough hooks, but if it's just talking about R&B, thugging, definitely R. Kelly, Nate Dogg, and then T-Pain for sure. So yeah, like I said, there's a whole bunch of lit songs that's not on this list. Even when I think of the best of the both, when I listen to the best of the both worlds, Jay Z, R. Kelly, and Jay Z verses and R. Kelly hooks, dude, next level, next level. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our barbershop talk. Barbershop talk for this episode. I was in the barbershop look earlier today, and like I tell you all the time, the barbershop is a big shop. You got the fellas over here with their haircuts, you got the ladies over here getting their hair done, and the ladies be here hustling of what we be talking about. So it'd be a funny and fun time. But the conversation was, or yeah, it was, ladies, you don't need makeup, wig, and a hat with the filter before taking pictures. You don't need that. And that became a part of a point of contention in the shop because some of the ladies was trying to defend it. Some of the ladies were saying that's not even they get down anyway. They in there getting their natural hair done. So that's what they say. But the ladies that engage in that act, because I've seen it by and large, I see it by and large where I see ladies rock makeup. They will get a wig, put a cap over the wig, put a filter on for a picture. That's a whole lot of trickeration. Whole lot. So by the time you see her for real, you be like that happened to me a few times. I know a woman personally, but and every time she put a picture on the Instagram, I'm like, damn, she look cute. That damn. But I see her in everyday life. I'm like, oh, I see what you did. I see what you're doing. You putting a filter and you taking your picture, and she had makeup on. So there's a whole lot of trickeration there. So me personally, I just think that's a bit too far, and I've been seeing it too often. But that was a point of contention in the shop today. So I would love to see your comments on it. Shout out to y'all in the chat. They're gonna cancel you. Shout out to me by the sea. They're gonna cancel you. Nah, I mean the truth is the truth. You can't cancel the truth. The truth is the truth. You cannot cancel the truth. Like, and some of these women, some of them, because this is not a female bashing show. This is a truth telling show. I tell it like it is. But this is specifically for the ladies because this was spoke about in the shop. It's trickeration. You can't have makeup. You can't. You can't have a wig on top of the makeup plus a hat. Do you understand how diabolical that is? Just that combination alone. Cool. And then got the nerve to throw a filter. So what's the purpose of the makeup? You already look like a different person. What's the purpose of the wig if you already look like something that you're not? Because when you go home and get in the bed and you take a shower, you take on and you look different. And then you throw a hat on top of that? That's diabolical. And you're using a filter as if you have no flaws. So what's the purpose of that? So that was a big thing in the shop. Fellas said what we said, and the ladies were saying what they were saying. But some of the ladies agreed with what I was saying. They was like, yo, you're right. It's diabolical. I don't use that. I'm in here getting my natural hair done, and I'm cool with that. And but she felt like this particular woman felt like men are not into that. I said, what man did you ask? You got a shop full of dudes in here telling you we rather have natural. And she like, well, the guys that I normally date don't. Cool. Every dude is different, right? But you can't assume that if you don't ask the guy that you like. If the guy that you like don't mind it, cool. But if it's a guy that you like or a guy that you want, you want to dress the part. When you go for a job, you dress the part, correct? So that right there is diabolical. You cannot do all of that and then ask a man to keep it real. That's the foundation of it. You cannot have makeup, wig, cap, filter, and then in the comments, in your caption, you said, if the fellows will only keep it real, we'll be a whole lot further in the world. Why can't I find a man? And you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't keep it real if you're not real. You can't. Like, one thing I don't mind, I will say this. Me personally, I don't mind stuff that is real upgrades, like teeth. I don't mind teeth. I don't. I really don't mind. Hair, I'm not a fan of women with fake hair. I'm not. I tell every woman that I date, yo, I prefer you in your natural hair. Do what you want with that. I'm more attracted to your natural hair. If you keep it short or pixie or whatever, just style the motherfucker. Just do that. You don't need to do anything extra. The only other thing that I think just looks sexy on a woman is just long braids. So if you do get the weave to get the long braid, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull that motherfucker out in a little bit. But anyway, that's another whole nother story. But that looks good to me. But anything outside of that, man, it's like that's not you. Take the hair hat off. Take that off. What are you doing? You don't even need makeup. I think you look good. I'm talking to you or I'm dealing with you because I think you fine as hell. You don't need that makeup. When I kiss you, I don't want no foundation on my mouth and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that. I want the natural you. You don't need no filter to take no pictures. You got the body yada yada. You look naturally good to me. So that's just me. And that became a big conversation in the chat. I mean, in the shop. Shout out to the chat. They gonna cancel you. Laugh at my ass. So shout out to Ebony. Shout out to me by the sea. Some women, Ashley. Laugh at my ass off. You gotta let them live. From you might be right, but they gotta live. It's not everyone. That's a fact. That's one thing I want to make very clear. I didn't say every single woman, and I think I said that in the story. I didn't say every single woman, but we know the women that's doing it. And I'm not saying the particular women. I'm not saying white women are doing it or sister women are doing it. When I say sisters, I just avoid the word black because that's not what we are. We not dirty. We not muddy. We not none of those things. Okay, we not three-fifths of the people or person. So I don't like using the word black. So when I say sisters, that's what I mean. So the point that I'm making is that I'm not relegating it to a race either. But we know people who use that because they just don't like themselves. They just don't like themselves. Just don't like themselves. And that's more of a problem than anything else. If you don't naturally like yourself, how can you expect somebody to like you and for the person that you are? And then for you to say keep it real, it's confusing because no matter how real a man keeps it, there's still going to be some sort of interruption because you're in fear of yourself. You're fear to love the real you inside and outside. What you look outside embodies what you are on the inside. It embodies that. It may not be the exact what you are, but it embodies it. Like if somebody become rich, they change up. No, they become more the person that they already been. So if they become an asshole, guess what? They've been an asshole. They just hit it, right? But when women do all the access and it's not needed, that means that they've been taught. That means that the people around them have gave them a steady diet that they're not enough. They haven't been around other women and men to tell them, hey, you don't need to do that. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Work what God gave you. You're gorgeous. Did you see your curves? Did you see your lips? Did you see your eyes? My goodness, even your short hair, it is gorgeous. It all has a purpose. So that's what I say when I say it. So you can't expect somebody to keep it real. Hey, if you're not keeping it real, just from the foundation of it, no matter how good this man treats you, it will always fall on deaf ears because why? You're not in love with yourself in the sense of feeling like you are validated. Maybe being in love with yourself is the wrong temperament that I'm trying to say, but you get the point that I mean where you're enough. You don't need all the access to even come to the party. You know what I'm saying? In order for others to accept you, you have to accept you first. So, and not mediocre you, the best version of yourself. You was the point that I'm making. So, just trying to make that clear. You gotta let them live. Might be right, but it's everyone. But nah, but again, that's what I believe regarding that fact in itself. Shout out to who's that? Ebony. Shout out to Ebony. They we said they not whatever you said. She said they not just wearing a filter. They're wearing an entire witness protection program. Ebony, you stupid. Shout out to Ebony. And again, I'm not saying that to like really flame y'all for real. I'm saying that because again, in order to get to the foundation of us and finding each other, because men and women, we need each other. We need y'all, ladies. We need y'all. And y'all need us. Let's keep this shit all the way real. At some point, when are we gonna be adults about this thing and keep it all the way real? We need each other. And in order to need each other, we need to understand where we come from. Not I hate when people say this is what I think you mean. No, I said what I meant. So take people for at their word, especially the men that you want or the man that you want. So but so that was the barbershop talk for this episode, as we spoke earlier in the shop. So again, shout out to the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? We had that big talk in the shop earlier. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must-see movies. My 3 Eddie Murphy awards. The reason why I call it Eddie Murphy awards because to me Eddie Murphy is the actor's actor. He's the most important actor we've had in this era, in this generation, I should say. So that's why I call it the Eddie Murphy Awards. He's excellent. So my 3 Eddie Murphys awards to 3 fire different movies. No spoiler, but I will tell y'all there's certain movie to tap into. Shout out to Ebony. This isn't a selfie anymore. This is a full render 3D CGI character assort from video game. You know, Ebony, what why you flaming the ladies? This is exactly why dating apps are so exhausting now. You swipe right on a picture like this, and it shows you you show up to a date with a completely different human being. Yeah, hey man, it is what it is, right? But we can improve that if we just listen to each other. If ladies, if men is what y'all want and want to deal with, listen to the man that y'all want. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Guys, we do things not just for ourselves but for women. We get a nice home for what? For y'all. We don't need a 3 bedroom home. We don't necessarily need it, but it's a part of the ambiance. You come through, oh wow, oh this you, yeah. You get a nice car, then you get a regular car, you get a nice car. Wow, this is nice. Again, it's all a part of it. So same thing with y'all in the looks, natural looks. All right, so my 3 Eddie Murphy awards. My first Eddie Murphy award goes to a movie that came out in 1995. I could be wrong. Yeah, this night, excuse me, 1994. This movie directed by Robert Lieberman. This movie stars Emilio Estevez, Joshua Jackson, excuse me, Eldon Henson, Heidi Klum, Jeffrey Nardling, and Josh Ackland. This movie is called D3 Mighty Ducks. Fire must see movie if you've never seen the Mighty Ducks. It kills me. I'm a big I love watching what they call live action reviews with people, and it kills me that a lot of people haven't seen like a lot of movies from the '90s, early 2000s, the '80s, and a lot of people have told me they've never seen D3. D3 is part 3 of a movie where kids get together, play hockey. Now they're in high school, and you have to see the rest of the movie. Again, I won't spoil it for you. Dope fire movie to tap into. Moving on to my second Eddie Murphy award, came out in 1995, directed by Stephen Brill. This movie stars Aaron Schwartz, Ben Stiller, Tom McGowan, Judd Opto, Keenan Thompson, Sean Wise, Paul Vague, Jerry Stiller, the father, Jerry Stiller, and Leah Lay. This movie is called Heavyweights. Funny movie. This movie still hits. I seen this movie for the first time in a long time, like about 2 weeks ago, and it still holds up. Funny movie about a young man who's a little heavy. Parents tricked him and going to, a big back camp, saying they're a little nicer. And you have to watch the rest of the movie. It is absolutely funny. It absolutely holds up. Make sure y'all tap in to see the movie Heavyweights. My third and final Eddie Murphy Award movie goes to a movie that came out in 2001, directed by Roger Nagane. This movie is starred by Joe Yenti, Daniel Denzel, Louis Mandalore, Lori Lorraine, and Ella Danker. This movie is called Suckers. This movie is called Suckers. Um, Make sure y'all tap into the movie. Anything I say is going to give the movie away, so just make sure y'all tap into the movie Suckers Fire Must See movie. So again, my 3 Eddie Murphy Award goes to the movie D3 Mighty Ducks, number 2 Heavyweights, and number 3 the movie Suckers. So make sure y'all tap into those movies, Fire Must See movies, and those are my 3 Eddie Murphy Awards for this episode. Moving on to our next segment. I'm gonna give out 3 Michael Jackson awards to 3 fire songs by a profile artist tonight. Y'all know how I do. Whether the music is new or old, whether it's hip hop or R&B, I'm gonna give y'all some of that heat. So my tonight's premier artist, the legendary Fabulous. So my first Michael Jackson award goes to his song Lituation. Fire, must have song on your playlist. If you've never heard of it, make sure you put it on your playlist. It is a must have by Fabulous. Second Michael Jackson award goes to goes to his song She Wildin' featuring Chris Brown. Again, another fire top tier song. And my third Michael Jackson award goes to his third song called All Good. So make sure y'all tap into those songs if you haven't already by the rapper Fabulous. The songs Lituation, She Wildin', featuring Chris Brown, and All Good. Make sure y'all tap to those songs. Shout out to Ebony, classic movie. Uh, I watched The Crush. I watched The Crush movie from last episode. Movie was wild. That that little had problems. Yeah, fire movie. And so I'm glad you saw The Crush. That is a wild movie. If y'all haven't seen The Crush yet, that movie is wild. Yeah, it was Alicia Silverstone. She was going crazy in that movie. She was going absolutely crazy in that movie. If y'all haven't seen that already, so make sure y'all tap into The Crush. So I'm glad you like the movie. That is a fire movie. So I'm glad you peeped that. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know we're about to book them flights, and we're about to head on out. Send them to Turkey or no. Send them to Turkey or no. We type in T to send it to Turkey, or we type in N not to send it to Turkey. It's an inside joke on the show that when people say and do crazy things, we send it to Turkey. All right, so send them to Turkey or no. First one of the night, well, the only one of the nights was sent to Turkey. A woman was fired after showing up late to work 47 times over a 10-month span. She was awarded $11.2 million after suing the company for racism. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Again, a woman was fired after showing up late 47 times over a 10-month period. She was then awarded $11.2 million after suing the company for racism. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Now, she also went on in her case against the company that she was saying that urban brothers, sisters, non-urban people, non-urban managers were late just as much, if not more. She also made claim that they faced zero write-ups and also penalties. This is a textbook selective enforcement. And because of that selective enforcement, she was able to get Pisnade $11.2 million. Damn, that is crazy. That is crazy. And it's wild that a company would allow, I won't say allow, but damn, somebody come in late 47 times. Like, you really taking note of that. Like, what type of, like, that's the only thing that I didn't see. What type of job was it where they really taking note of something like that? Because when you have a career, people don't, like, yeah, you run it late, but people don't normally keep record when you work somewhere for your career. But 47 times in a 10-month span, she ends up getting awarded $11.2 million. But she made aware to basically note the people who was, the people who was non-brothers or non-sisters, that they was going through the same thing. And I guess doing a forensic check, they found culpability in that. She only started getting targeted. Now, this is a part of the case. She only started getting targeted by the leadership um, ex- after explicitly reported a toxic environment, vulgar comments, uh, and subordinates under her authority. So she's going through things with people that's supposed to work under her, over her, and there's not a lot of respect going on in that particular company. And the people who are higher than her is keeping note and record the times that she was late and not keeping note in time of other people with lateness and ineffectiveness to the workplace. Also, as an AR professional, so she worked, excuse me, as an HR professional, I said A&R. As an HR professional, this is why document consistently is everything, right? So this is why the documentation of how many times somebody was late in that time period. If you tolerate behavior from 80% of the staff, but abruptly fire one specific minority manager for it, it's a federal jury is going to crush you every single time. So the people that was on the jury probably seen themselves in this young lady as well, and was like, "Yo, it's not fair, and we're gonna make sure she gets some money on." At the end of the day, when you work at a job at a company, it has to be fair. That's what HR is there, where the treatment has to be fair, especially when it comes to consequences and showing up late and just all types of stuff. That's what HR is there for, to reinforce the rules and to make sure everybody does everything. Shout out to my dog CC in the building. Appreciate you. As always, my dude, you already know, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. So continue to show y'all support. My dog CC in the building, one of my day ones. So again with HR, and it's so funny. If you ever worked a job before, a job in the office space could get very catty. It could get very petty. It could get very clicky as well. And I said all of those threes, all of that. Excuse me. I said all of that in particular because it's a fine night in an office space. It could be very catty, meaning everybody, people is watching each other, clocking each other, and just, not paying the business that minds them, right? Then it could be very clicky, meaning like, hey, we cool. I ain't really cool with them over there, and y'all kind of clock each other, right? And then it could get real petty, right? You're documenting that person's behavior, but not your own and the people that's rocking with you. So those three things in itself, in an office space, in a job setting, is a recipe for disaster. Because when you work a career and you're in your career, those three things could possibly be around, but those three things get crushed because this is a career, this is a place of business, and whatever that is, that's for the HR to handle it. So it's quite interesting in this particular case, all in itself. Shout out to my dog Cece. We all family here. Yeah, no, we ain't. I'm trying to get paid and go home. You feel me, Ash? I feel you. Ain't nothing like making your money on. I feel you. But we got to be honest what people are dealing with on their jobs. And these are some of the things that they're dealing with on their jobs. People being catty on their jobs, people being petty on their jobs, and people being clicky on their jobs. That is a very real thing. I remember I worked a job. This is before I got into music, but I worked a job where literally, like, I felt like we supposed to be adults in here, and it felt like high school. It felt real, just childish. Every time I did something or said something, it was like, hey, did you know Ash came in late today? And it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you paying the business that don't pay you? Why are you minding the business that don't pay you? I'm gonna meet you outside. Now, I definitely told the people I meet them outside. You know what I'm saying? This is way back in the day. I got to pass. I got to pass. I'm whatever I done that. I got to pass. But the point that I'm making is just when you work a job, these are the things that people deal with, and then on top of it, it makes the job even harder because you come there for the work. You didn't come here for all the extraness. So the fact that she got $11.2 million after basically, they basically, have been documenting her shortcomings out on the workplace, not realizing she's documenting them as well. She's doing the same thing as well. So the 47 times that she was late in the 10-month span, y'all was just as late, if not more than me. So the fact that she got $11.2 million, her not only her claims but her evidence was able to hold up. And after doing an account or forensic account on everybody's time period of employment, lateness, ineffectiveness, and she was able to walk away with that bag. She would have never made $11.2 million on that job. I guarantee that. So, in my opinion, she got a super good retirement fund. She could retire or she could start her own business, make her own money. I mean, she got a multitude of options. So, shout out to her. She ended up getting that money on. Shout out to Cece. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. It'd be like high school for real. There are so many traps at work, fam. I have to be honest with you, for a guy, like the only other perk for real is the women. If there's a nice looking woman on there, you get to have a little fun outside of the workplace. The jobs I've had in my life, I have to be honest with you. I believe every job, like I worked at a company before. Yeah, I got them draws, and I'm not saying that as a brag. I'm saying that like that's the only perk that men that we get working in a workspace that deals with a whole lot of high school mentality, a lot of caddy mentality, a lot of petty mentality, and a lot of clicky mentality. It's the only perk. That's it. And the money. So the money and the little booty on the side. You know what I mean? So for ladies, like for y'all, like what is it? What is it? Because nobody want to deal with all that. Everybody in here to pay their bills and go home. So the fact that she was able to get $11.2 million. Oh my god. That sounds so good. $11.2 million. And because it's a lawsuit, there's a big chance, they didn't say it, but there's a big chance that that was tax-free money. That's a big chance. That's tax-free money. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Oh my goodness. $11.2 million. She would have never made that there working there. So shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you in a space and a place and you working with people and y'all not getting along, you gotta watch them just as hard as they watching you, and you better document, like it says right here, document. You gotta document their ass just like they documented you. So shout out to that young lady. I didn't want to say her name purposely because probably people will be looking for her for that $11.2 million. But shout out to her. I know she gonna go crazy with that money. Shout out to Ebony. Imagine the absolute panic, but the executive suite when the jury read out 10 million in punitive damage over a gym membership dispute. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, $11.2 million is $11.2 million. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snap, so you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the website button hyphenated sign and the word snaps.com. Make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all. First one of the night. Reports is in. Manhattan medium rent is at a record high, $51.25 a month. So that's $5,125 a month, up 7% from in past years. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Manhattan median rent is at a record high at $5,125 a month. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget that them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. Continue to engage. And I drop videos daily, so I've been seeing your comments. Continue to engage in the comments that I drop. Excuse me, to the videos that I drop daily. I hope I said that right. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, $5,125 a month for the average rent in Manhattan. So in Manhattan in itself, they're including uptown, downtown, Manhattan, which also includes neighborhoods like Harlem and Spanish Harlem and everything that includes in Manhattan, right? Lower East Side, all of that, right? 5,125. Excuse me, $5,125. Uh, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I'm born and raised Brooklyn, New York, but I've lived in Queens before. Obviously, I lived in Brooklyn. Um, I've always said if I moved back to New York, I probably would live in Manhattan. But damn, $5,125 a month. It's a lot of money, dog. That's a lot of money. And the only reason why I would consider Manhattan is because it's next to all the things that I end up doing anyway. When I end up going to the studio, I go to Manhattan. When I go here, I go to Manhattan. I go there, I go to Manhattan, right? So the lifestyle in itself in Manhattan, it's all in its own wave, right? But $5,125 a month, it's crazy. It's crazy. You basically have to make a salary triple of this to actually enjoy your living situation in New York City. Not to get by, but just to enjoy. Just to enjoy. Imagine paying over $5,000 a month for rent for a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment. And it's not big. New York apartments are not big. They're not. You have some that we think is big compared to the smaller ones, but these places are not that big. When obviously move from New York, you get more bang for your buck, for real. The same type of place, put it like this. $5,000 a month in rent for an apartment in New York City would get you a mansion in Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Virginia, New Jersey. Well, maybe not in New Jersey, but in New Jersey, you get some big fly joint for $5 grand a month. It won't be a little shoebox for five a month, right? Now, obviously, some people have really decent sized apartments in New York City based on the area in New York City and based if you're grandfathered in. Meaning, if you had a great granddad, a dad who's lived at this place for 30 something years, they grandfathered him in and his prices are not today's prices. It's like, yo, he's been here for 30 years. This is his rent. He's never been late. This is what we can expect. But all this new stuff over here, oh yeah, we're gonna go crazy over here. And unless you're grandfathered in, unless your name is on that lease, guess what? You don't get them prices. That's how New York works. Your name has to be on the lease in order for you to get them prices. Meaning, if your grandfather's on that lease, he has to put your name on that lease. So God forbid, if and when he passed, hey, I'm on the lease. Maybe I still get the spot at the spot rate. Cool. But in New York City, in Manhattan in particular, $5,125 a month is ridiculous. If it's a 1 bedroom, it's like, yo, what are you doing with your life? A 3 bedroom, even if it's a 3 bedroom, 5,000 over 5,000 a month is ridiculous for a 3 bedroom in New York City. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You'll be surprised. There's certain places in Florida back in 2015 where a really nice spot, 3 bedroom, will run you about $700. So think of all the money you could have saved from $700 to $5,100. Now, even now, for a 3 bedroom house, apartment, that's more expensive now, but it's nowhere near $5,100 a month, which is crazy. So me personally, I think this is OD. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Imagine paying 51.25 a month just to have, which is a radiator that changes like ghosts and a bathroom located inside your kitchen. And there's places that's like that. There's places that like that. And I know you're probably saying that as a joke, but there's places that's like that. That's real. Like there's no real like certain places, the more expensive places in New York City, it's supposed to carry ambiance. It's supposed to carry in Florida and in these other places, the more money you pay, it carries ambiance and your neighborhood is going to reflect it too. In Florida, you can get you a 3 bedroom now for like $1,000, but it's going to probably be the hood. But it still look a little better than New York City because you got access to probably a pool, you got access to either a gym or the locations, park or whatever the case may be. You have other amenities on the property. It probably has its own laundromat on top of that. So, I mean, damn, in New York City, the average laundromat in New York City in a building is maybe like 10 dryers, 10 washers for the whole building. So anytime you go down there, you got to climb over the rats, and then you got to catch when them dryers is ready. Like living in Brooklyn, my building in particular, one of the buildings that I used to live in, shout out to 222 Lenox Road. You got 6 floors full of people. It's literally about 10 washers and 4 dryers in the whole damn side. So how long would it take you to wash clothes if you don't have a washer and dryer in your home? And in that building, it's not regular that most people have their own washer and dryer in that building. So it's gonna take you all day. That's why in New York City, when people clothes is ready, you got to be waiting with your clothes because people will take your clothes out put it onto the, put it onto the thing or whatever so they could put their clothes in. And some people will be that petty when they come back. If they see their clothes out, they'll take their clothes, put it in the thing, and then they'll take your clothes out and put it just to be petty. So, New York is wild. So $5,125 a month for the average medium apartment in Manhattan is crazy. How do you enjoy anything else in Manhattan if you're paying that in the rent? Shout out to Ebony. 5K a month should share 5K a month to share a studio apartment with a family of mice and a roommate who sleeps 3 feet from you. Yeah, I New York City has more rats than people. The only time I haven't seen rats in New York City is probably a couple days ago when the Knicks won the championship. And as many people that was outside and walking around and having a good time and plundering and looting and everything that they was doing. I didn't see not one rat jump on anybody. All them rats, I guess, with all them people out on the surface, they like, yeah, we're gonna chill down here for today, baby. It's too crazy up there. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks won. Hey, it's Gotham City up there. Yo, we need to chill down here. I didn't see not a rat in nobody's video throughout the Knicks celebration. So, yeah. But I just think that's absolutely crazy. To pay that type of money for an apartment, you're not living right. I don't care how much money you have. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're not living right paying 5,000 a month for an apartment in New York City. I don't care if you make 1 million a year, 2 million a year, 3 million a year. Well, y'all get the point that I'm making, right? Most places, especially apartments in New York City, is not 5 grand a month. Now it'll be a different thing. In New York City, you have a grand penthouse apartment, big windows overlooking the city, 3 bedroom, some fly, you know what I mean? Some fly. You make about 500,000 a year. Okay, that makes a little sense. That would make sense because that you can easily afford. But most people is not making 500 grand, 400 grand. People are barely making, I won't say barely making, but let's say most people making about 70 to 80 grand in New York City, right? Which is not correct. It's lower than that. It's lower than that. The average person who works. And the medium average rent, the medium rent in Manhattan is $5,100. Yeah, nah. That's not going to job at all. That's not going to job at all. So again, I think that's crazy. Spend your money wisely. Move to Staten Island. Move to Queens. Get a good bang for your buck. Brooklyn, there's certain parts of Brooklyn that is nice and affordable, and you can get something fly, and it'll be much cheaper than that. The spot not gonna be that big anyway. Move to Queens, move to Staten Island. Now the Bronx, you'll probably get the most bang for your buck, but most people that's not from the Bronx don't want to move to the Bronx. So I'm just telling you what I know. You know what I'm saying? If you're from the Bronx, you got no problem living up there and whatever the case may be. But there's other parts, what's that considered? Chelsea. Chelsea's a little cheaper. Yonkers is a little cheaper. You know what I'm saying? There's places you can move, but if you want to be directly in the city, yeah, 5,100 a month is crazy. That's crazy. Whether you're making 100 grand a year, 200 grand, okay, 200 grand, okay, but it's still not feasible. It's still not a smart investment. It's not a smart investment. So, uh, yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic in time to wrap. Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns quarterback competition is somewhat wrapping up between Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. They've been keeping score, and it's so crazy. I don't like keeping score of practice stats, so I'm not going to share practice stats with y'all. I think that's a bit ridiculous because it's practice stats, but it show you these guys' success rate when it comes to quarterbacking. on any level, college, NFL, high school, doesn't matter. When it comes to quarterbacking, the major and biggest ingredient is having the trust of the offense, having the trust of that team, whether you're the starter or whether you're the backup. It doesn't matter. So what do that means? There could be a guy that the coaches want to start. That's their starter. That's their guy. Somehow, some way, he gets hurt. And the backup comes in the game, and the offense looks 10 times better with the backup than it does with the original. That's mainly because the team and that offense trust that backup. And the team and that offense don't look at the backup as the backup. That's how that goes. So with that being said, Deshaun Watson, they feel like he may be in the league to start off as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Mainly because not what's going on the field, is mainly because of his contract. He's due $46 million. Shador is due what, $1 million and change this year? Just in his playing contract. So if Shador is only going to get 1 point something million dollars, and Deshaun is due $46 million off the books, there is no quarterback competition then. There is none. And I've seen people say, well, if he can't beat out Deshaun, then how good is Shador? There is no real competition. If at the end of the day, if we're playing contracts opposed to play, then let's be honest. At the height of Deshaun Watson, he was a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. But he hasn't looked like that guy in a long time. Even when the Cleveland Browns offense was solid and they were struggling, he got hurt, and then you get old Joe Flacco turn that same offense into a playoff running team. That says a lot on the quarterback play of Deshaun Watson. Now, if he starts and he plays and he does well, then what? Will the Browns actually sign him to an extended contract? I think not. What will happen next? Would he get traded? More likely, because they won't release him because it's $46 million. So with that being said, it's not a real quarterback competition. With Shador in itself, he's looked good in camp. And Deshaun looked good in camp. But Shador won 3 out of the 7 games. 3. As a rookie. As a 4th-string quarterback. Wasn't expecting to play. Now, the way things happened last year, I predicted it. Except for some of the interceptions that Shador threw. But the point that I'm making is the quarterback competition. In my opinion, people keep saying quarterback competition. There is no quarterback competition if they're playing salaries. If they're worried about the salaries, no matter what Shador does in practice, no matter how much he lights it up, no matter how many touchdowns he's thrown, lesser interceptions, higher completion rate, it doesn't matter. Even if his teammates believe in him more, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, y'all gonna play the contracts before anything else. They say, well, it's easier to sit Deshaun if and when that, he doesn't do well. So if he does well, he's going to stay the starter, but he'll be traded or released at the end of the year. How does that help your team? How? Especially if there's no real quarterback competition. How does that help your team? Now, if there's a real competition, he will be the most expensive backup, because there is value in Shador developing faster than later. There's real value in that. Your team trajectory will go even higher. If he helped your team win 3 games out of 7 last year, he can help your team win 4 out of 4, or at least 5 out of that 7 this year. I honestly believe that. I don't think we'll see the interception to touchdown ratio like it was last year, because some of that stuff was kind of clunky and wasn't his fault. but there will be a sharpness, there will be a pickup in the second year, there will be a curve that's going to be more met. And if he does well, this serves your team because he's on your team and on your books for a very low contract, a very low rookie contract, because he was a fifth round pick. And you get to develop and build around him. Now, if you start Deshaun Watson, what do that does? It takes reps away from him. So let's say, for example, y'all roll out Deshaun Watson first. He goes out there for the first 5 or 6 games because it's going to take him. They're going to let him. They're going to let him cook a second. And 6 games in, let's say we're going to go with a quarterback change. Now you don't lost 6 games where Shador could have been, could have got reps, could have been better within the 6 games instead of him just starting at the 6 games. Just let the math do the math all in itself. Look at that division. Cincinnati struggled getting to the playoffs last year. Pittsburgh struggled getting to the playoffs last year. The Ravens was probably the only team that was like, we knew that was going to go to the playoffs, but even that wasn't a sure thing because you had the injury of Lamar Jackson. So they struggled getting to the playoffs last year. Here you have a quarterback that didn't necessarily knock your socks off, but he had super wild moments. And it benefits you giving him the keys of the team if he's earning it in practice. So the more reps he gets, the better he's going to be, and the better the team is going to be. So there is no real quarterback competition. If you say, yeah, no matter what he does in practice, we still owe $46 million. We still need value out of him. There's 1 year left. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? No team, like, by their logic, if he stinks it up, you can't trade for him anyway. There's no team that want to trade for him now. There's none. There's not a team out there right now that says, hey, we need to get Deshaun Watson over. And this is no disrespect to Deshaun because, again, at his height, when he was great, he was great. But him being on the last year of his deal, him having the injuries and the off the field things that I believe hampered some of his play as well, had him looking like a shell of himself. There's no team that's traded for him, so you lost the value all in itself already. Start Shador if he's the guy that y'all think that he is, because all this do is it keeps your team at limbo and holds your team back even further. The players have confidence in Shador. They believe in Shador. Deshaun has looked good, but like literally, if he goes out there and has a decent year, nobody expects him to go out there and have an MVP year. But if we go out there and have a decent 6 games, 7 games, people still going to be asking to see Shador. And some people say, well, what if Shador mess up? Then you go to this Deshaun Watson? Yeah. He's out anyway. He's out anyway. So give the reps to the kid or to the person that needed the most because y'all have the most to gain if he's good. That's why. The more reps that he gets, the more that he sees this defense, the more he sees this disguise, the more he sees cover 2 go into cover 4, the more he sees cover 4 go into man, the more he sees man go into 0, the more he sees that, the more he recognizes the trap cover 2, the more he realizes you got cover 6 or cover 9 at the drop of a dime. The more he sees it, the better he will be and the better y'all team will be. So yeah, I just had to make mention on that because everybody keep talking about the competition. There is no real competition if y'all playing salaries and worried about the salaries. Shout out to Ebony. We are Shador fans, not Cleveland fans. I would say so. I would say so. Cleveland Browns have been historically what their name is, Brown. They've been the shits. They've been terrible. They've been terrible. If Shador was on any other team, well, I wouldn't say any other team. If he's on a team and the quarterback situation on that team is shaky, they're going to ask. If he was on the team with, if he was on the Chiefs, if he was on the Baltimore Ravens, if he was at a place, or Buffalo, if he was at a place with a franchise quarterback, foundational, then it would be no questions about Shador. But being that he's at a place where it's questions at the quarterback and he has the ability, and the other quarterback there has been shaky, that's all find out because it benefits your team. So, and it makes your place a very attractive or a destination team when you have free agents. Yo, I want to go catch a pass from this kid. I want to go play with them because they like to run the ball and I like run blocking. If I'm a defender, yo, if you notice, great defenders, they when they free agents, wherever there's money on a team with quarterbacks, they go there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes because yo, Chiefs is always gonna be in it. Or I'm gonna go to a team like Buffalo because they always gonna be in the mix. So it's one plus one, and it's crazy. NFL makes things harder than what it is. And if you've been around, you know the game already. You know the game. So if they're playing wallets, then Deshaun will start. But if they're playing to win and to curve that and put their resources into the next level, you go with Shador because there's an upside if and when he succeeds. So all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Floyd Money Mayweather is facing felony charges for allegedly passing bad checks. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Again, Floyd Money Mayweather facing felony charges for allegedly passing bad checks. I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. They're saying allegedly. So why is he in court? If this is alleged, why is he in court? That's my main thing. Why is this not thrown out if this is all alleged? Because charges don't happen from allegedly. I get the point that I'm making, right? There's some sort of proof or evidence or some sort of claim that's saying that, yo, he made, he is passing out bad checks. Alleged is just saying that they can't prove it right now or they, doing their court process, but either they did or they didn't. So I just found that quite interesting in that all by itself first. Second of all, and I said this under a post, Floyd Mayweather to the culture in the South have always seen and look rich because he's always bought expensive things. He has expensive things. We've seen him burn hundreds, all types of stuff that was just like real questionable with money. But in our community, we always felt like Floyd Mayweather was well off. Making the type of money that he makes per fight or that he did per fight at the time that he did, would say that he's well off when it comes to income and money. But when it comes to lifestyle, living a lavish lifestyle, spending $1 million a month in lifestyle, no matter how much money you make, making $100 million a month, at some point you will feel it, especially if your lifestyle changes a little bit. If he made that money in between a finite time and he's not making that money every year, that 1 million a month is going to start to add up a bit. So I just find it quite interesting that I made a comment on a post. It was Floyd Mayweather and Jay-Z was in the vicinity with his daughter and they're watching the game. This is a basketball game. And Floyd Mayweather comes out his bag full of cash. And he's paying for stuff with all this cash. And in the comments, I said, the loudest man in the room is the weakest man in the room. And most people like, what you trying to say? Floyd Mayweather would beat Jay-Z up. He the strongest man in the room. It's like, yeah, if it's either you know. But because of this situation, I have to say what that means. It wasn't about something about fighting Jay-Z, but you're sitting in a room with the legit billionaire or somebody that has money. You're sitting front row at the basketball game. So the people that sit in front row at the basketball game, people got some money too. Mm. So when you're pilling out hundreds in front of other people that's in your ballpark, whether a little lower or higher, then you're trying to show your money when you don't. So therefore, hence the quote, the loudest man in the room is the weakest one. And then you fast forward 2 months later till now, and him allegedly writing bad checks, point taken. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this does not look well, whether it's alleged or whether it's true. It doesn't look well. I just have to be honest. Shout out to CC and my dog CC in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Sad to see Floyd in this situation. Yeah, again, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. So when people get their money, get your money. But be smart. Be smart. In this country, people value the look of money. People value the feel of money. And what do that mean? If people perceive that you have money, there's a level of respect that people will give you. Also, when people perceive that you have money, there's a level of protection that you have to have for yourself and for them. Meaning, you have to be able to protect yourself by people not taking it. And you have to be dangerous enough if people trying to take it, they will lose their life. Because money will make people do things that they won't normally do. And in this country, you can get people to do stuff for some money, even with the perception of it. So, because of that, the culture always gave love to Money Mayweather when it wasn't the money that made people mess with Floyd Mayweather. It was his great boxing ability and great boxing skills. That's what got him the money. Because he's that box office where people whether would watch the fight, whether to see him win or see him lose. And let's be honest, most people tuned in to watch him lose because he was that good that he wasn't going to lose. But to be this callous with his finances at this point is wild. And again, with him burning hundreds, we've seen him burn hundreds. And when you have a country like ours where people value money, instead of burning hundreds, you could have gave a job to somebody. And I'm pretty sure he already gave jobs to people, but that's another job you could have gave to somebody. That hundred that instead of burning that hundred, you could have gave to somebody that's homeless. There's a whole lot of homeless people in Vegas. I'll tell you that much for sure. It's the value of something, not just what you have. It matters what you do with it as well. Why do you think in the NFL, the NBA, anything that makes a whole lot of money is made to the public? Why do you think that? In certain states, if you make over a certain amount of money, they have what you make publicly. Yes, especially if you work a state job in certain states, the state has to approve the money. Yes, if you a state like Colorado, they have to approve your salary when it's over a certain amount of money. Why do you think it's so? You could Google, what the average NFL player makes, NFL, NBA player make, soccer player make. You could Google it. Oh, this person made $25 million. Why do everybody need to know that? Why? See what I'm saying? It's the value of it and what you're doing with it. Why do you think people gave Jalen Brown so much praise a couple years back when he got his big contract? I believe his contract at the time was like over 300 something million dollars at that time. And at that time, Even though that's a ridiculous amount of money now, it still is. At that time when he got that money, it was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And immediately he came out, he said, yeah, I want to do things for my neighborhood and the neighborhoods here and all across the world where, kids can benefit and have a safe place where they could, work out ideas and maybe businesses and da 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 da. Because it matters what people do with their money as well. That's what people value. So the fact that Floyd Mayweather is in the situation, whether it's alleged, whether it's true, it's pretty sad. But how much grace will people give him after years seeing him burn hundreds? I mean, and it's only with our community that we see that in. Well, money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing. But you got people with all types of money, and you would never know it. You got people with all types of money. You never seen them burn it. You got people with all types of money. They barely buy expensive things. Barely. So I had an experience one time where I was in a room full of people with a whole lot of money. I'm talking about millionaires, millionaires, and I got the most expensive clothes on in there. The loudest man in the room is the weakest man in the room. I don't make millions of dollars, at least not yet. I'm hoping to get there one day, right? Just like y'all at home. Work hard enough, work smart enough, hoping to get to a million one day. I believe I will one day. But the point that I'm making is I'm in there, nice jewelry, Rolex on, got the Benz outside, and everything like that. Oh, yeah, it's loud. It look good. And I'm young. These older men is, you know, early 50, mid 50. Their houses on a whole nother level. You could fit two football fields in their house. They got butlers. They even got a house for when people come into their house. I forget what that's called, but when people come into the house, they got a house where they have like a guard in that house in itself. And before they let you like all the way in, because there's the gate, and then there's the other part where it's like the guard of the house. So that's like his first defense. So if you hop the fence or something like that, you get popped off. And in that space alone, there's a house for the guard. That's how big some of these people's houses were. If you look outside, they driving Saturns and all these cheap rides. Loudest man in the room, weakest man in the room. Millions. Got boats. Got boats. You know how much a boat is? Not a regular boat. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but they got like a nice like baby yachts or a yacht. Y'all know how expensive that stuff is? Next level stuff. So the point that I'm making, there's a difference between like hood rich and like rich rich. And when you're in a place where you don't have to show it for real, that's on a whole nother level. Whole nother level. Me personally, I just like jewelry. I ain't gonna lie. I think tomorrow if I woke up with $800 million, I'm still probably gonna have a chain and a nice bracelet or something. I just like nice jewelry. But I would feel stupid as hell if I went out and bought $1 million chain. That's something that won't happen. I go out and buy $1 million watch. That's something that won't happen. Because why? The loudest man in the room is the weakest man in the room. You show your hand every single time. So I just think the situation is unfortunate for Floyd Mayweather. But again, whether it's alleged or whether it really happened, loudest man in the room, weakest man in the room. Shout out to Ebony, writing a bad check without consistently posting writing a bad check while consistently posting videos, walking around with backpacks full of cash. It's a level of irony I don't expect to see today. Shout out to Ebony for that. Imagine being self-proclaimed billionaire, but your Wells Fargo account bounces and 200,000 and a $200,000 check resold The math isn't math. And to be fair, though, he just filed a massive lawsuit saying his ex business partner stole 100. Excuse me, one is it one 175 million from him. Uh, the accounts, his accounts might just be frozen or messed up because of that. Very true. Very true. Very true. But when you have that type of money, you know that before you start buying stuff. Like if you, especially if you run it low, then you start making lifestyle changes. That's what I'm saying. Like this is still a lot of money. Even $1 million is still a lot of money. Some people say, "Well, $1 million to Floyd is not a lot of money." Yeah, based on his lifestyle, for sure, for sure. Doesn't mean he can't have a great lifestyle continuously. He has several cars. You get that. I've seen this car collection. It's very impressive. But one, he doesn't drive himself. Two, he doesn't drive. Like, what's the value of having like 30 cars? Unless you're gonna resell it. Because you can't drive every car every day. Can't be driven in the car every day. How good does it look for Floyd Mayweather to be driven in one car and then have like 4 or 5 of his people drive his cars? Wouldn't it be easier and a little bit more fly if, okay, he still has a driver and then he gets like a big sprinter van, a nice sprinter van where his security and all that stuff can follow him? Wouldn't that be more cost effective? Wouldn't that be smarter financially? So you mean to tell me a person with the assets that he has, as far as finances, his financial evaluation, if he went down in living space, you mean to tell me that won't benefit him for the long run? Yeah, nah. Of course. Of course it will. Of course it will. But we have to be smart with he has to be smart with his money. I was about to say we gotta be smart with our money. We gotta be smart with our money, but he gotta be smart with his money too. So this is gonna be a story moving forward as well. All right, so moving on to our next hot topic in time to wrap. New York Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson is facing backlash after winning the finals and the women on the internet finding out he's not married to a sister. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. New York Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson and Finals MVP. Let me put some respect on that man named Finals MVP. Jalen Brunson faces backlash after winning the finals, and the women on the internet finding out that he isn't married to a sister. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I've seen several videos that went viral regarding this, and this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. What do you want the man to do? What do you want anybody to do? Let's keep it real. What do you want the man to do? Divorce his wife and go marry who y'all want him to marry? When he found somebody that he wants to take serious and build a life with, have kids with, and share in his success and have been pouring into him? Like, what do you want people to do? They love who they love. It is what it is. Me personally, I prefer sisters. Me personally. But hey, I've dibbled and dabbled in everything. Well, it's ladies. Let's get that right. With the ladies, right? And you love who you love. You're attracted to who you're attracted to. It's just that simple. If you end up with a sister, you end up with a sister. It's just that simple. If you don't, you don't. And that's all preference based. He may have a preference for non sisters. He may have a preference for sisters. And this particular woman just loved on him the way he needed to be loved on at that particular time, valued her loyalty, valued her love, and took it to a whole other level. Nothing wrong with that. When you can find it and embrace it and love it. Because it's hard as hell to find love in this day and age. You can find people. You can find a sexy woman. You can definitely do that. Nice body, nice face. But is she giving you the things that you need for you to succeed? And for each man, that is very different. It looks very different for each dude. So the fact that he found somebody that he loves and build, and that's his wife, got the kids, he has success, she has success. Hey, let them do their thing. This man just won the finals with a team that hasn't won the finals in 53 years. 1973. In 1973, I just told y'all that average medium rent in Manhattan is $5,125. In 1973, the average rent in New York City, in Manhattan in particular, the medium was $178. Took a team to the NBA Finals, won the NBA Finals, and to be quite frank, without him, that team is not as good. You can't insert anybody or just anybody for Brunson and the Knicks have the same success. He did something that great, bring that type of energy back to the city. And this is what y'all talk about. This is what y'all harp on. The fact that he's not married to a sister. Like, what do you want the man to do? What do you want people to do? You love who you love. You can't help who you love. Especially, he didn't get married just yesterday. This is probably a woman that been with him since college, that believed in him forever and a day. Where he just won, and now all of a sudden that everybody's believing him now. It wasn't believing him before, but they believe in him now. She was probably believing him from day one. So if you found love, you gotta embrace it. The man just helped his team win the finals, led the team to the finals, led his team to winning it, beating the alien in Wemby. Wemby is going to be here. He's going to be back. Nobody else was beating that San Antonio team because they did not have Jalen Brunson. And this is what we harping on. This is crazy. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Appreciate you. As always, again, hit them likes, y'all. Hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Continue to engage. As well, I drop videos daily on every Sunday and every Wednesday. Shout out to Ebony. Black Twitter, y'all know I hate saying the word black, but Black Twitter, this is what she said, was ready to crown him the king of New York until they saw his high school yearbook photos. The timeline shifted fast. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, people, they want you when you're the finished product. They want you when you got the light, the glory, the adulation. But when you're grinding, when you're building yourself up, it's not that same energy. You don't mind who that person dealing with. You don't even care because you're not looking at them right now. The spotlight is not on them right now. But now that the spotlight is on him because he did something that great and that amazing, and this is what y'all pick and point out, that's terrible. That is terrible. Let that man love his wife, be with his wife, do what he do. She's a part of him being successful. The things that she provided in his life allow him to play basketball at the highest of level for one of the most mediocre franchises of all time. And he helped turned it around. That says a lot. That says a lot. So y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to cut it out. Enjoy the championship. Enjoy the team. The Knicks have a good team. Enjoy this team. Y'all not like the Lakers. Y'all not like the Celtics, where y'all gonna have a good team every era. Nah, enjoy it. And this is what y'all talk about, the fact that this man's wife is not a sister. And it's been several videos that went viral cooking Jalen Brunson because he's not married to a sister. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Man, just put the city back on the map in the basketball world as far as pro sports. And the reason why it matters so much in New York in itself, because everybody in New York play basketball. Everybody. You cannot go to a court in New York City when the weather is halfway decent and the court is not packed. There's always going to be somebody on the court. You could come down to Florida, it'll be a beautiful day. The court will be white bleach wood with the little bouncy thing on it and everything like that, help you dunk and all that. Nice new backboards. Ain't nobody on that court. Ain't nobody on that court. It took me months when I moved to an area. I gotta find like the court, the live court. Like, yo, where the live court at? Like, this ain't the live. This is not what I'm used to. Like, where the live court at? Everybody on the football field. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that matters. And y'all nitpick about this, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Patrick in the building. You already know my guy, one of my day ones, one of my mods. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. You already know helps with the growth of the show. Women on the internet find out she isn't a black woman is crazy. Excuse me, is a crazy headline. He didn't hide her. Excuse me. She literally been sitting here courtside the entire playoffs. That's a fact. Shout out to Ebony. That's a fact. My dog Patrick. He said, "What up, Ash? My guy. They have been together since high school too." Come on, man. Like this is what I be talking about. Like y'all getting mad, and they've been together since high school. High school. Do you know how hard it is to still be in love with your high school sweetheart? Do you know after you're in high school and you go to, oh my God, college, oh my God. The amount of buns nuns in college is crazy. I'm crazy. If I told you some of my college stories, hey. And for him and her to love each other, see value in each other, and continue to build, come on, this is man. Nah. The man just did something amazing, helped his team, led his team. And this is the story. He's not married to a sister. Come on, man. There's certain things y'all gonna have to get over. Seriously. Because if y'all was checking for him like that, y'all would have got at him in high school. Y'all would have got at him in high school. There was something about her energy that she gave him that he seen value in and wanted to build with her and love on her and give her the world as much as he can do. And she gives him that same support. So I just think it's a little crazy, me personally. Let this man, shout out to Ebony, let this man enjoy the finals MVP trophy in peace. Who cares who he goes home to? The internet is wild. I agree with you, Ebony. I agree wholeheartedly. Again, shout out to the New York Knicks. They won the 2026 NBA Finals against a great young team led by the alien. He will be back. He will win chips. And they beat that team. He beat that team on a franchise that's one of the most mediocre franchises in all of basketball. It's the New York Knicks. Historically, yes. And he's turned that around. And mind you, he turned it around and he wasn't even getting supported like that. They wanted Kyrie and KD. Kyrie and KD was like, yeah, nah, we're going to the Nets, baby. Next, we're bringing Brunson, give him $100 million. Fans was like, what? Nah. Without the support, and I guarantee you, she was supporting him. Yeah, baby, you can do that shit. Show them who you are. Bust their ass. She believed in that shit. The most unlikely situation he turned around. You gotta get that props. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. That's crazy. Again, shout out to New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. doing his thing, Finals MVP, and the NBA champs. Salute to them. Salute to them. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. In time to wrap. 49 unalive, 17 critically injured after a bomb blew up during a Kai Sanat, uh, a Kai Sanat gathering for his Kai Sanat University, well, not Kai Sanat, Streamer University event. Uh, and it leads um, Atlanta on lockdown. Uh, that has been reported, and I have to let y'all know it is not true. It is all over the internet as if it is true, and it's not true. I had to do the research on it because he is in Atlanta. They did have the Streamer University, I believe. I forget the center, but I believe it's the same place where Atlanta Hawks play. Is that Mercedes Benz? I'm not sure on the actual stadium, but at that particular stadium, they did have Streamer University. It was packed. They had to shut down the event. But this particular event, it was no bomb, nothing blew up, and they did not have to shut down Atlanta. It's a full story, but I had to make mention of that because it's been all over social media. They do have some sort of viral video, but that viral video is misleading. The claim regarding the bomb explosion, it never happened, where 49 people was unalive and 17 was critically injured. Even that number alone sounds backwards, sounds crazy, and it never happened. It's false, fictional online narrative, but this is something that people are running with, and these videos is going viral, and the post is getting a whole lot of traction and attention. And again, I believe that people create these things mainly because as a to detract from the motion that he's building with Streamer University. Because for some reason, people love to root for you until their perception of you're too successful. When you're too successful, people stop rooting for you. I don't know what that is. When you're great at something, it's like and it's so weird. People don't rock with you at the very beginning. They want to see you become moderately successful. Moderately. Now, okay, he get his rise a little bit. I could still mess with that a little bit. But and for people to really mess with you, you gotta come down a little bit. If you continue to soar and go higher and higher, that support that you once had, it starts to dissipate. And the way that that does, you create false narratives like this. So I don't think these false narratives is just coming out of nowhere. I think there's a entity or anti-bot or anti Kai Sanat because it has that type of motion that he has to knock down his star celebrity. He was just in a movie, and to see as many people that pulled up for Streamer University in New York City, like live applications, and to see Atlanta Streamer University on the pull up, people pulled up in droves. You'd have thought he doing a concert or something. In droves, you're gonna have people to try to knock his star down or to create negative and false narratives. So I had to make mention that this was very false, and I hate to see stuff like that when people got motion. They doing their numbers, and these things get created to try to basically, just say that to kill their motion. Like they do that with artists too. When an artist is starting to come up, he's doing this thing or she's doing this thing, you have promoters that make fake flyers and fake events that this artist is going to be there, knowing that they won't. And they'll get the money from the event, knowing that this artist won't be there, and they won't hit the people off back with the money. They won't get refunds because it was all in service on derailing that artist his integrity of showing up to shows. Now say, oh yeah, this person don't show up to shows. He don't show up to shows. He was supposed to come to my city. He didn't show up to the show. When that wasn't even the narrative. And most artists don't even hear about the show that they was either supposed to do or the fake show that was supposed to be in a small city somewhere to sue them. It's all a detraction method. So be very aware of what's going on. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. And again, I'm Ashley Love, excuse me. And again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. This is Ken the Brothers Get a Rap podcast, episode 269. Wow, that's a lot of episodes. All right, so moving on to our next hot topic. Eve Tiny Desk concert goes absolutely crazy. She performs some of her hits, such as What Y'all Know, Got a Man, Gangsta Love, Let Me Blow Your Mind, Tambourine, and Who's That Girl? And she absolutely bodies it. I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. If y'all caught her Tiny Desk concert, I would love to know what y'all thought of her performance. And, do she still got it? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I've seen it and I enjoyed it. She still looks amazing, still looks real sexy over there. But as a performer, as an artist, she still looks good, still sounds good. And I actually enjoyed the actual performance. Me personally, I thought she did a really good job. A really good job. These songs that she performed though, big time records of hers. And some of these, when she performs, the crowd goes absolutely nuts. It goes absolutely crazy. The only thing I wonder when I think about Eve's career, I wonder what her career would have been like, because she's had an excellent career. Rough Riders was the perfect place for her as far as her image and the music that she made, right? But before she got with Rough Riders, she was actually dealing with, as far as an artist, she was dealing with Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. So I would have loved to hear an album from Eve, especially at that time, with Dr. Dre Productions. And I believe this was about Shady Aftermath, if I'm not mistaken, at that time. The birth of Shady Aftermath. Oh man, that would have been that. I would have loved to hear what that would have been like, me personally. So these songs in particular though, What Y'all Want, fire song. It's one of them songs. It's a great and easy song to perform to and have crowd participation. Got a Man, always gonna get the ladies. Gangsta Love, that's that joint with her and Alicia Keys. That joint is on a whole nother level too. I love the video on that. Both of those looking amazing. Let Me Blow Your Mind is so Let Me Blow Your Mind is a classic. That song will live on forever. 40 years from now, people will still be jamming to Let Me Blow Your Mind. Tambourine, it is a performance song and it's a known song, but it's more of a performance song. I'm not crazy about Tambourine by itself as a song, but as a performance song, it hits different because it's a whole lot of crowd participation regarding that song. So I thought her playlist was actually perfect and accurate. And Who's That Girl? Come on, it's again another timeless classic song that people want to listen to 40 years from now. So I thought this was absolutely fire. And shout out to Eve, man. She's still doing her thing. We want to see her here in the States and continue to perform. So shout out to Eve, the legendary Eve, Rough Rider, First Lady of Rough Rider. So shout out to Eve for killing that Tiny Desk concert. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Um, they're talking about NBA is heating up with trade talks. The NBA draft is next week, and with the Knicks winning the finals, my Brooklyn Nets, we've tanked for long enough. We can't be trash anymore. We can't be trash. We've been trash for the last 2, 3 years. We've been tanking on purpose to get picks because that's the formula, right? We've seen the Knicks tank and they're champions. We've seen the Thunder tank where they had all the picks in the world. They're champions. We've seen the Spurs tank. Look what their team turned into. Great team. They will be back for the finals. We've seen all the great teams tank. As of right now, the Pacers tank that won, recently. Now look at their team. Cleveland Cavaliers, so on and so forth. Right now, it's that time. Now it's that time. We have the number 6 pick in the draft. Let's not make this shit difficult. Let's not make it difficult. We all know, looking at the Brooklyn Nets, we don't have a lead player. We don't. We don't have a franchise guy. So it would behoove us to draft a dog, a lead dog. It would behoove us to do that and not draft based on fit. The fit is we need a lead dog. And what that means is the person that we draft in this draft, they don't have to be able to mix with everybody that we got. Because everybody we got ain't hitting on nothing. Let's keep it all the way real. The draft we had last year wasn't a success. It wasn't. We had 5 first-round picks and maybe one guy we may keep on the team. Another guy is a developmental guy for sure. Another has somewhat potential, but we don't see it every night. We have another guy. Like, let's keep it real. He gonna be in the China League next year, and I'm not saying no names on purpose. And we have another guy gonna be in the China League in 2 years. It wasn't a good draft. I just, for the sake of me, I kept screaming at the table, trade 3 or 4 of those picks for Dylan Harper. Like, what are we doing? We didn't do that. We need a lead dog. Somebody's gonna that we could build with. Me personally, if it was my choice, if I'm the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, I'm taking that number 6 pick. And the 2 guys I got in mind is Mikel Brown Jr. for sure. If he's there, I'm taking him. 6'4", 6'5", athletic, pass, score. Some would say a prototypical NBA guard, but he's a lead guy. He's only 20 years old. Then dropped like 49 points in the game. If he's not there, I'm taking Darius Acuff with no hesitation. A killer. Certified killer. He didn't drop 40 points in several games. Certified killer. So what if if Acuff is not a defensive nightmare? He will have to pay attention to defense. But offensively, he's a lead dog. We need a lead dog. And we can't be trash, and we can't have nothing to look forward to while a train ride away, there's the champs on the other side of that train ride. And one thing I love about my Nets is that we've always been competitive outside of the years that we clearly are tanking. Right? The kid years, or a kid is New Jersey. But when you talk about Johnson, talk about Johnson, oh my God. When you talk about KD, Kyrie, you go back a little bit, you talk about Lopez, you talk about Joe Johnson, you talk about, oh my God, the point guard, I can't get a point guard name right now. Him, Gerald Wallace, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. We've always competed, even when we had the team before Garnett, when we had the Leverts, the D'Lo, the Jarretts. Like, we had a competitive team. We need something to look forward to in our own fan base. Nets, don't F this up. Don't do that. Get us a player that we could be excited about and build around him. We got a lot of dollars in free agency, and there's some good free agents that we could have on our team as well too. But let's not be stupid. Let's not trade back. Take the number 6 pick. Take the number 6 pick. You want to use one of those trading assets that we have to come back into the lottery and get a second guy. I would prefer, I think a successful draft for the Brooklyn Nets will look like either Mikael Brown Jr. or Darius Acuff for that sixth pick. And let's say we come back in the lottery from anywhere from that ninth to 14th pick. If Lindenborg is still around, yeah, that will be a successful draft for the Brooklyn Nets in this year's draft. And it's next week. It's literally next week. So Brooklyn Nets officials, don't F this up. I guarantee you, if you F this up, the fan base is going to be pissed. And it's going to affect your bottom line. It's going to affect your bottom line. I did the research on it myself. The Nets is packing 99% of that stadium now. 99%. Mind you, the Nets haven't been in Brooklyn a long time. The Nets came, what, in 2010, 2011? We're in 2026. Haven't been there long at all. And already is at 99% per game. You want that to go up to 100%? Get us somebody that we could be excited about. You get us somebody that we could be excited about, it's going to get to 100%. Why not? We've seen every other team that tanked and tanked on purpose bear the fruits of their labor. This year, we need to check in, cash in, and make it count. Let's not flub this away. I've been hearing reports about trading back and getting players that we know these guys ain't it. And if these reports are true, and the Brooklyn Nets go that route, the fan base is not going to be supportive. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You're going to have people flaming you because y'all did idiot things. Or am I pointing to myself? I'm not the only one. We're going to be flaming you. We can't have NBA final champs a subway ride away and we're ass. No. Make sure y'all do the right thing in this draft. Period. Now, I was hoping that they will move up to maybe 3 or 4. We can't. Cool. There's going to be a great player that is going to hit us at number 6 anyway. And when you look further down the line, when they do, when we redraft this, our number 6 player may be the best player in this draft. Maybe. It could happen. We've seen it in drafts before. 96 draft. Allen Iverson, one of my favorite players ever. Stephon Marbury, my favorite NBA player ever. In that same draft, you had Kerry Kittles, who was excellent in college. You had Antoine Walker, excellent pro for Boston. And he was a franchise player for Boston for a long time. You had Marcus Camby, who was what, number 2 overall? Number 2 overall. Abdul Rahim was nasty coming out of Cal. 6'10" small forward, silky smooth. Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. And there was some high school kid with an afro. Well, he had a bald head at the time. Skinny kid. Whole lot of potential. Whole lot. And the Lakers ended up trading for him because Charlotte drafted this kid. And they was like, man, we don't need no high school kid on our team. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to develop nobody. Lakers, y'all interested? That player was only named Kobe Bean Bryant, the Mamba. So it could very be well and so that this year's pick by us, we could end up with the very best pick in the draft years down the line. So don't F this up. And that's been my episode for tonight's Wednesday episode. I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been absolutely amazing. absolutely keeping it engaged. Again, I drop videos daily. Excuse me, I drop videos daily, and I'm on live every Sunday and every Wednesday at 10:30. And I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping. And I want to thank OUV Records again, tapping on OUV Records. Everywhere where music is good, create, document, and inspire. Staying tuned to the latest music and merchandise on Instagram. Also, you can tap into me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. I'm Ashley Lovechild on every platform, on Ashley Lovechild Mojo or Ashley Lovechild NYC. You'll find me on everything. But stay in tune, show love. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. Continue to engage. I see those engagements, those comments that y'all been leaving. I do engage back, especially if y'all on something. If y'all saying stupidness, I won't engage. I'll probably delete it. But even if I agree, excuse me, even if I disagree, I do show love in the chat as well. Also, I feel like I'm missing something as well. Yes, so next live will be Sunday, like I said before, at 10:30. And remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. A stain is somebody who try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. Hate has a location. It's just not here. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. So I appreciate y'all each and every episode as well. And again, make sure y'all hit button snaps, the word button hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com, where you get to find us movies, find us documentaries, find us the shows. Make sure y'all type into buttonsnaps.com. And I will see y'all this Sunday, man. And yo, ain't nothing but love from me to you. And I'll see y'all this Sunday. I'm out.